like I can. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so welcome to Digital Experience team. I guess we're meeting with the talent team to talk about the CMS, Contentful CMS that we've been ramping up to using to house all of the content on the marketing website. So everything in about.gitlab.com. So I'm going to share and get going here. Okay, so this is Contentful. If you've never seen it before, I'll give a kind of an overview of what this screen kind of shows. My Zoom stuff is in the way. Okay, so yeah, this is Contentful, and this is where all of the content of the marketing website lives. At least most of it, we're moving everything over. One thing I want to call out before we kind of dig into it is up in this top corner, it says about.gitlab.com. So that's the space that I'm in. We have 3 different spaces. So if you're looking for blog content, you would go into the blog space. And then this navigation is our navigation bar that appears on the top of the website and our footer. Those are on every page. So I want to be in the about.gitlab.com space here. So that's kind of step 1. And most of the work that you would be doing would be on this content tab. There's kind of a home page that's got some tools there. This is where each of our pieces of content lives, things like buttons and heroes. But the actual content that exists on every page is in this content tab. And so the first thing I would do here when landing on the content tab, you might see all or any type of content when you first come in here. I would just filter that down to page. This page content type is kind of what we're using for every single page across the marketing website. And I have it sorted kind of alphabetically. So you can see this would be about.gitlab.com/analyst and /community and /dedicated. And all of these should kind of map to one URL on the website. So if you were looking for an existing piece of content on the website, that's in the analyst page and you wanted to go change that, this is probably where you would start to look for that thing that you want to change. So I'm going to do just that. I actually have the analyst page open just because it's the first page. We've got some deprecated stuff here, but analysts, if I go in and click on that, I'm brought to this screen, and there's kind of a lot going on here, but a quick overview is that this screen will house all of the content on this page, and then we've got this sidebar with various tools. If I go kind of into the analyst page and I look at what this page is made of, it looks like there's this kind of hero, looks like there's, kind of a card button, an accordion, and another couple of set of cards. If I go back to my page, I've got SEO stuff like the name of the page and the URL, like /analyst. Those probably wouldn't change. Some SEO like open graph Twitter images for sharing, but the page content should match those components that I saw on the page. So yeah, we've got a hero, we've got a card, we've got this accordion, and we've got another little card group. So that looks to be right. So just for demo purposes, maybe I'll change something in the hero here. So I can click into the hero and the sidebar opens, and this will house all of the actual text that appears in that hero. So, the title, what top industry analyst is in here. We've got a description. Here's the little image that shows up on the side. So all of that can be found in here. One of the things that I want to call out, if I go back to the page view, on this sidebar, there's a lot of handy tools. So this top part shows the status. So this is a page that's published, it's live in production, it already exists. And if I make changes, I have the opportunity to publish. It'll say that this is changed, and I can then use this big green button to publish my changes. Being able to publish will depend on your roles and permissions. I think that's set at a team level, so we can go into that a little bit more later. But yeah, that's where the publish button would be. There's this handy little Google Analytics thing that shows the last 7 days page views. So that's just a nice to have. But this preview is kind of what I want to show. This is our live previewer. So I'll open this up and it'll open up a window, like a view of the page that I can make changes to on the fly and get a feel for how those changes are going to look. So again, the page content is where I want to be. I'll change this hero. Maybe I'll just, add 1, 2, 3, and I see 1, 2, 3 change on the page. So this gives me an idea of kind of what this is going to look like. And I can open this link in a new tab. I can copy the URL. I can share that with my friends and, how does this look? What do you think? Whatever. So that's really great. And if I go back out of here, you can do it, or maybe I'll X out of here. Then I'll see this hero that I just changed has the change tag now. If I go back into that hero, I have the opportunity to publish those changes. I'm not going to, I'm gonna remove that. But even though nothing has actually changed, I added 123 and then I deleted 123, it's still going to show this change status. I can compare it with previous version to see what has changed. And if there was an actual change that I was missing, it would appear in this tab. There's a version from before. It would show 123 if I had published that, and then the current version where I deleted it, and I can pick and choose which changes I want to apply. So it's kind of a diff view or a difference view. So that's really handy. I can see that there were no, I can see that there were no changes. So I'm gonna, hit publish for that, get my nice published status back to where it was. And then some other things, I will also point out with the preview, if you're having trouble seeing this, sometimes it defaults to this localhost preview. You wanna be on a review app. You're not booting this up locally. That's kind of what that would work with. So make sure that you're on the review app one if you're not seeing the preview work properly. And then, I kind of showed those versions up here. So if there were actual changes, it would show in those versions. Translations are coming too. Some pages have been translated, some haven't. I can check and see if this one has. Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like I see a title in English, but nothing in French, nothing in German, nothing in Japanese. But if we did have this page translated in Contentful, that's where these would be. So if you're making a change in one language, you can make them in all the languages at the same time, which is great. I believe that's that for kind of the page level editing something that already exists. I will kind of, if you were to add a brand new page, a lot more is coming for that kind of functionality, but you can add that by adding a new page, coming up with a URL. This is something you'd probably still work with our team on. If you're interested in adding a page to the website, you're probably going to get a designer involved. You're probably going to, there's going to be a lot of collaboration, content, and brand, and whatever. So that part is still going to be probably working with our team, but we are building out kind of a custom template where you can design your own page with a handful of preset pieces of component, a hero, some cards, whatever, and those will have this little nail and hammer icon. So stay tuned for that. One other thing before I stop talking for a Q&A for a minute, this media tab is kind of a neat one. I've obviously been searching for things in here, but this is kind of where all the pictures and assets exist that are on the website. So you can upload new assets in here if you want, if you have a new image that you want to add. The example I like is we try to tag things as they appear on the website. So all of our logos, we try to put a logo tag so I can search the word logo if I'm looking for somebody's logo. Or if I have we have a lot of hero images that typically go at the top of our web pages. So those usually have a hero tag. And there's a lot of neat stuff that we can do. And the nice thing about this that applies for a lot of content, if, I don't know, Drupal changes their logo tomorrow, I can change this logo here and it'll propagate to everywhere that logo is used, which is really, really great and really powerful. That goes for all content types. If we have a button that links to the free trial flow and we change that URL, we can change that in one place and it'll go everywhere that button is used. So really, really powerful tool for making those kinds of changes. I feel like I've been talking for a while. Let me check the agenda.
No, this is all super helpful, Laura. Thanks for the walkthrough. I mean, I do feel like it's going to make everything a heck of a lot easier when it comes to making changes to existing pages. So really excited to learn about all this. I guess the big question from my side, knowing the careers page and the all jobs page don't yet live in the marketing site, in terms of migrating those into Contentful. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry. What does that process look like?
That's just something our team needs to get on an upcoming sprint.
Okay.
We've migrated, as you can tell, we've migrated so much stuff in. Every page usually has its own uniqueness. I think the jobs page specifically is going to be probably less automated. What we'll need to, as we were kind of talking about on that one issue, what would be most efficient and expedient is picking a template that we currently have built that's close. And then I think the best way to learn things is when you need to learn them and they're relevant. So what could be really cool is now that we've got this up and it's landed, what I would prefer is if Laura, probably Laura, because she's teaching all of this so well, sets up time with all of you and is okay, let's go into the back end of the CMS. Carly, you're going to share your screen. You're driving. click here, because by doing it, you're learning it with relevancy, and that's going to make it more sticky. So like how to set up the page, like how to pick, like use this template. I don't even know how to do that. So we're all in kind of an unclear state there. But then going like, okay, great. Well, let's look at the old page and let's look at how it's going to be, and let's copy and paste content in. I think that'd be amazing. I could see that. I would encourage my team, to think about doing that like mid-January when we're back from the break. I'd love to get that done like this quarter. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's
I wonder
possible.
if there's, Michael, I wonder if there's like models in contentful. God,
It's
I cannot
contentful. I
pronounce
know
this.
it's weird. It's just not a word. That's the problem, Devin.
Contentful. All right. I'm going to commit it to memory at this
Yeah.
point. Like if there are templates in there already, if we can start to map out, like, here's what the current career site looks like. Here are some things that exist in terms of existing templates, and then start to put a point of view together on how we'd migrate from A to B. And then it could be a Carly and Laura collaboration to like get those things put in. We could almost review it before we've made decisions to make sure everybody's on the same page in terms of what templates we end up using in the new career site.
I think Lauren, like we're just kind of like, where my head's going is, if we were done all the work we had in flight, yes. But we're kind of like opening the door. Like we know the foundation's solid, we know the building's not going to fall on you, but like it's definitely missing a lot of stuff. One of the things that we're currently working is more of like a drag and droppable kind of page creator to make the experience for content creators better. And kind of my gut, like the voice in the back of my head is like, I wouldn't want to send you down a path that we're a few weeks away from releasing this better thing, that you're like committed to this one template and you're like, oh, but I like that better. I'm like, well, now you just wasted your time.
Okay.
Not that you
So
couldn't switch. It just like, I just think
yeah. So there's
we need a bit more information and like clarity on our progress before I can like give you solid guidance.
okay, got it. Are there like additional templates that are being added as options for marketing site pages then? Is that a fair read?
Not really. There will be. I don't know when. We're trying to make it so that we have a set of like, think of it as like a design system and a pattern library. So we have a set of modules. And what our ultimate vision is, you go to a page and you say like jobs super page, and then you just go like, okay, what do I want? I want a hero, I want these 3 cards, I want this, I want that, and you know what these look like, and then you just build your page. So what I'm always interested in is, how do we enable creativity on like Rails a little bit, right? Like I don't want the example that dates me, but the example that I always give is like MySpace and Facebook. Like I'm convinced the reason why Facebook won is you couldn't do glitter text, which we all love glitter text, live it forever, but like you couldn't do it in Facebook, and then MySpace turned into this disaster garbage experience. So we want to put people on Rails and be like, these are the modules. We know they're effective. We know they're on brand. The things you can change doesn't break their integrity. But if you want to have, and we'll make a very strong recommendation, like every page should have either of like this hero or that hero, everything underneath, like however you want to tell your story and get your point across and achieve your objectives, like we want to enable that in a safe way. We're not done building that yet. It's been a huge job to get the whole site CMSified. But that's just to paint the future, and it's not like years away. It's not like quarters away. It's probably a month away.
Got it. Okay. No, that's awesome to hear. I mean, to be totally honest with you, that's exactly what we're looking for, is like a space to talk about careers at GitLab, but within enough of a guardrail so that we're putting our best foot forward. The things that we have on the career site look as they do in other parts of about.gitlab.com, which today, we know we're a bit of an outlier. So
Yeah.
the idea from our side is we'll stop being as much of an outlier. And I'm sure whatever the guardrails y'all end up creating are, we'll be able to tell our story effectively within that.
Yeah, what this sets up is like you'll end up catching all the changes. The concept in Contentful which I agree. It's a weird word. You're not on your own out there, Dev. Is they have this concept of composable content, which means you can decompose a piece of content to a state that we get to determine like it should go to like this level and no less. So it's not like a whole page, it's a little module. So the whole site going forward will be made up of all these little modules. And on our end, we have a design system and a pattern library. So if we say, okay, we're changing our brand colors and our typefaces, whatever, we change these modules and the whole site changes. Your little corner of the internet as it is now is, we had no CMS, we had no like system for that. So it was like nothing rolled out in scaffold. So that will solve for that in the future.
Got it. Okay. A question that's maybe specific to our jobs page. We have an integration with Greenhouse that pulls all of our jobs onto that page. Does that create challenges with the CMS, or should that work effectively?
We'll probably have to do a tiny bit, like minimal amount of like making sure it shows up right and is styled how we want it, but it's not an issue. They're so good. Those services are so good because that's the tool they want us to really use. So they're usually made pretty well.
Okay. That was the one thing that was keeping me up a bit, where it's like not sure exactly how that would move into the new system. So glad to hear that it's not a tremendous amount of work to work around
from
that.
the way we see it on our end is like it doesn't matter to me like what the thing is, like whether it's embedding a job board or embedding a YouTube video or embedding a tweet. It's the concept is embedding content from external source. So it's kind of all wrapped up in the same challenge.
Got it. Okay, cool. Cal, I think you had a quick question in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious about the blog section on the website that we have. Just for some context, I am part of the onboarding, so I'm like trying to do a lot of corrections or enhancing our onboarding experience for our new hires. Thinking about, if we were to be in a stage to write a blog about it, like, is this going to be on Contentful? Like, will it be managed by that? Like, just trying to understand that.
Yeah, if it's like a traditional blog post, like you want it to appear on about.gitlab.com/blogs/ whatever your title is, all of that is in Contentful. Our blog is currently all living in Contentful. All 3,000 posts are there. Sandra Gitlin, I believe, is kind of running. She's posting away. She's got it all figured out. Better at Contentful than we are. So, yeah, if you wanted to make a blog post, I can maybe I'll share my screen again here. Where is it? You? Okay. Yeah, I just switched to the blog space here. And
go slower. So show how to do that.
Okay. So yeah,
up in this. That's even too fast.
Corner.
Yeah, there we
go.
That's come to my speed. Come on.
It's up in this corner is where I can control what space I'm in. So each kind of section of the website has its own space. And we have 3 of them right now. So yeah, anything that's just regular marketing website stuff, about.gitlab.com stuff, goes up here. But anything about.gitlab.com/blog has been routed to this space. So anything that will be in that URL is in this blog space. Just click out of there. And then again, you might, if you come here for the first time, it might show everything. I'm going to filter by blog post, and this will show eventually lots of different blog posts. So each of these is the title of a blog post. Nathan's been in here kind of moving them all over, so it looks like he wrote all of them, but if you were to actually click into them, it would show who the actual author is. Description, so it looks like Sandra is the author of this one, but this is kind of a giant markdown piece of text that should look familiar. It's how we write issues. So same sort of formatting works here. And this is a blog post. So you could write a new blog post. Go out here by adding an entry. It's a little slow. There's a lot of blog posts.
Markdown's working in the blog post now?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it works. You can embed videos, you can do all sorts of stuff.
Sweet.
And I can click this preview button to see like a quick view of, making sure everything's bolded properly the way that I want it to.
Hey, while you're back there, in that one, can we just show off the little Google Analytics integration? Because I know this team is data driven as well, and this was tricky and something we were pretty proud of.
Yeah, so that's over here. I don't know if this is the one I clicked on before, but
Oh, good.
lots of like handy tools over here. But the Google Analytics, this will show for the last 7 days, but I can select whatever metric I want, and it'll, you know, update my little graph. I don't know if I'm signed into Google Analytics, but this would open in a new tab the full, you know, dashboard of whatever lives over there. But yeah, that's just for this URL. So /blog 2022. This is, you know, the actual URL that you would find this blog post at. But yeah, lots of good stuff. Yeah, and so when it comes time to add a new blog post, if that's of interest, it's simply going add entry blog post. It'll open up kind of a blank window. And what I would do is probably like open up a copy of an exact, like a existing blog post, like open a new tab, find one that I want. Like just pick any one of them and just kind of go field by field. Okay, I need a title, and I'd add that in. And then I'd look over here. Okay, this is a description. I'd add that in. You know, I would just kind of go line by line through an existing blog post and make sure that it's like one for one what I want. And if it gives me any trouble, then yeah, reach out to the digital experience team. Or Sandra is like really good at blog stuff in Contentful.
Yeah, Laura, I think we'll work through Sandra and any blog related things until she gets sick of us and says, hey, I need y'all to start creating your own blogs, which very well could happen. So I guess in terms of next steps from here, Michael, hear you that the migration of the jobs page likely can't happen until mid-January. Are there any steps we should think about taking between now and that point?
No, I think as in the chat, we've got the authorization request from your team. That'd be great. Like, let's get you all in there. We're working to get 2 CMS office hours set up for all the marketing to start with. We want to have like Friendly show up before we open it up to everybody else. So we'll have those rolling for quarters. Like I don't foresee us turning those off until at the earliest, like Q3, but it'll be like half hour. We'll try a half hour, maybe it'll extend to 45 minutes, but twice a week, one like for time zone convenience. And that's really just like, you'll probably see Laura there a lot, Nathan there. I'll go to crack a couple bad jokes and then let people be actually effective. But just like I said, like with what I was talking about, walking through it with Carly, is like, these are all great, like kicking off and seeing what we're doing, but like training only matters until you need to be trained on a specific thing. So we just want to have like time slots to be like, look, we're here. And of course, we're highly responsive on our digital experience Slack channel. So if you need something, just hit us up.
Okay, awesome. And Carly, I know you've got experience with other CMSs. This feels like a similar experience, just a different UI to get used to. Anything standing out to you in terms of things you wanted to dive into a bit more?
No, Nathan and I have been going back and forth in the agenda. I've been publishing questions and he's answering there. So I'm getting all of my burning questions answered in the doc. But Michael and team, thank you so much. This is really exciting for me. I've worked with a few different ones. I worked at Acquia for where we use Drupal. I mean, obviously they sell Drupal. So I'm very familiar with these and I'm really excited to be able to have one at GitLab. It's been a gift that I've been hoping for since I joined a couple years ago. So this is really exciting.
Same with us.
Yeah. Well, hey, congrats on getting to this point too. I know this has probably been a huge lift for y'all to roll out a new CMS and get the majority of the marketing side already moved there.
Yeah, it hasn't been small. So yeah, thanks for that recognition.
Awesome. Well, so does it make sense to wait until we hear back on when we're able to get the migration in the sprint? In the meantime, we can just start to give some thought to how content is going to evolve on the career site on our side. And then when we get to that mid-January time, we've got a good feel for the content that we want to pull in there. And then we start making moves then.
Yeah, and on your side, you know, it's one thing, like I'm a big proponent of just pencil and paper. And like, if what I would say between the three of you might want to do is just like draw a big tall rectangle. That's a web page. Like how would you want the future of your pages to show up, or like what would those sub pages be? Because now you can do all of that on your own. So kind of getting like, if I were you where you're at now, I'd start thinking through my ecosystem, like the information architecture of like, here's my jobs page. If there's a link, I would want it to go here. Why do I want it to go there? What do I want the person to do, and where do I want them to end up? That's something that you could jump on now, so that when we do give you access, you're like, great, now I've built the blueprint. Now I just need to build the house.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, we're on the same page. We're already doing some work on in Google Docs on our side, waiting for the fateful day of migration.
Right on. I love it. Awesome.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for the time, and Laura, appreciate the walkthrough too. That was super helpful.
Yeah, I linked in the agenda our CMS page, and we have an onboarding issue for each team. So if you have questions, you can throw them in there too. And yeah, the handbook page has like another walkthrough video very similar to what we just did. So if you need a refresher, it's there.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks, team.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.